Everybody, welcome to Romero Pictures Indie Brigade. Except this is not Romero Pictures Indie Brigade, but it also is. So I want to welcome you all to something brand new we're doing. I'd like to welcome you to the Wagner Wiles with Lance and Samantha Wagner. This is something that we're very excited about at Romero Pictures Indie Brigade. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about things. I just want to take a moment and introduce these two wonderful people who have come to join us here in the brigade. Lance and Sam, why don't you say hi?
Hi, I'm Samantha.
I'm Lance.
Married to him.
Married to her.
You guys are awesome. So I'm not going to give away anything about what we're going to be doing here, but I am going to tell everybody that this is part of our brand new year 2020 overall kind of umbrella of things that we're working on bringing to you this year in 2020. This is a regular show called the Wagner Wiles. You will be seeing it. Are we doing weekly? Are we doing bi-weekly? What are we doing? Tell us about the show a little bit.
It hasn't been determined yet.
Oh.
It's a secret, I guess.
I didn't get the email.
She's a freaking natural.
All right, you guys are amazing. You look beautiful. You both look beautiful. I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. And I'm looking forward to you guys being a regular part of the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade. With that said, I want to just kind of kick it over to you and say welcome to the brigade formally. Welcome to the family. I love you guys.
George. We love you.
Thank you much.
All right, have fun.
Let the show begin.
So go ahead. We I guess we had the honor to be on the show, and we want to thank you all for that.
Yes, thank you.
And we had the what we're going to talk about is movies. We'll probably eventually go more towards indie, I guess. But we're talking. George was I can't bestowed the honor to watch the original 1977 Suspiria and the 2018 Suspiria. So he asked. Thank you, Joe. So he asked us to compare the two, like a versus, if you will, a take on the two powerhouses. And I'm going to tell you right now, if it wasn't for George's suggestion, I'm going to be the first to admit I am weak at the Italian horror genre, and I want to step that up. George kicked me in the butt, and so happy he did, because I've been beaming about Suspiria for a week now. So, anyway, so I have a little experience at this, being on the camera, in front of the camera. My beautiful wife is brand new, and I think she looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
She's a doll. And she's actually paid attention to watching these movies, and it's blown my mind, because we watch movies a lot different. So how do you want to do this? You want to start with the 1977?
Yeah, let's start with 1977.
Okay. And thank you, George, again, because Dario Argento is amazing. And I say this because when I started watching it, I saw the colors. Naturally, the colors, the blood. He's everything I've ever wanted in a director. And the funny thing is, all these indie movies, and I'm all about the indie horror, especially the indie horror community. I see it in all these indie movies, these colors, and I'm like, oh, they are influenced by Dario Argento or some form of Italian horror. So I really dug the 1977, the movie. She, on the other hand,
not so much.
Because
the storyline, he tells the stories through his colors and through his sets, and not through the actors. And I have a hard time with that, because I connect with the people more than I do the colors and the stages and sets. And I think Lance digs the colors and makes the connection to the emotion of the colors that comes out.
And I think the cool part about Dario's was that I think Sam had found some kind of nugget that if you were German, you talk German. If you're, Russian, whatever language you spoke, you spoke it in the movie. And then I guess for the American viewing pleasure, we got it dubbed.
Correct.
And that was a lot easier for me to keep up with, and I'll touch on that later. Mm-hmm. But I thought the story was great. It's quick. You don't really know what it's about until the end. And that was really, really cool because it's just, you know, it's everything's happening, everything's unfolding. What's going on? What's going on? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's what's going on.
I never got the O.
I got the O.
I didn't get the O.
That's a good thing to say. I got the O.
Yeah, there's no rules here. This is no rule game.
But yes, anyway, that was Dario Argento. Unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you, George.
It took me 4 days to watch it.
Took me a day and a half. I
That's
watched it
spare
quick.
time. Yeah, it took me quite a while. I had to start and stop. Couldn't understand. I kept going back thinking I missed something because I couldn't figure it out. And he figured it out. He got it.
She was like, "Oh my God, this is terrible. This is." She was mad at George, and
I said a few words about George. This is stupid.
it was not stupid.
It wasn't stupid. The colors are great. I do see the influence. I get the going forward of it. I can see the influence of it. I can see why it was important. Wouldn't want to go back to it.
And you've watched other Dario stuff and
I have watched a few other Dario stuff.
likey.
No, not so much.
Okay.
There was one that had someone else's influence, and we'll mention that at another show, but I did enjoy that one better, but I think it had so much of the other influence that it took away some of the Dario.
And I still need to watch those. Yes. I have a list.
Yes, he does.
So do we need to continue on 1977?
So when he talks about the blood, okay, the blood is not red in this color, in this movie. The blood is orange, bright orange. I got confused with one of the opening scenes where the first person's killed. I'm not giving any spoilers. I think we're far enough into many years. So there's no spoilers here. But there's like this claw, these eyes that come out in the dark, and then this claw that comes out. It's a hairy arm. So I'm confused if we're talking about, mothers and spoiler alert. If we're talking about mothers and witches, why there's such a hairy, gruely arm and this weird set of eyes. So it did confuse me a little bit. And I don't think it changed through the movie any. The spirit kept a very manly entity. When you did get to see any part of it, it kept kind of a manly. So it was very confusing to me what that had to do with the trilogy of the mothers.
Wait. The mothers fight.
There's three.
You're confusing me now.
There's three.
Oh, y'all got you. I got you.
There's three mothers in the trilogy.
Okay. I got you. Confusing.
Can you go ahead?
Yeah, that was the cool part for me was, I guess I have to go to the 2018.
Okay.
And I guess we kind of have to watch spoilers on that because it's only been out since 2018.
Right.
But whatever. Okay, so let's see.
We're going to fast track to 2018.
Are we fast tracking to 2018?
Unless you want to go over the murders.
I like the kills were great. And the arm, the eyes, where the eyes popped up. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I got emotional watching this movie. And I'm going to tell you, I'm one of those guys. I get emotional and ridiculous acting. I'm the woman when it comes to that stuff in the movie. She's always tough as nails and doesn't show her emotions. Me, I'm blubbering everywhere. But it wasn't the murders that would cause just the beauty of the movie. I just thought the movie was beautiful. So
we didn't really get to, only towards the end did you even see a murder.
Yeah.
You just got to see the kills.
The hanging at the beginning.
But that wasn't a murder. It was an accidental hanging.
Was it accidental?
I think it was accidental. She fell through the glass and hung by this thing, and then it killed somebody else. And, I think people died on purpose accidentally, but I think their death was imminent no matter what. It just didn't maybe turn out the way.
And the orange blood was brilliant, by the way.
And very symmetrical.
It probably looked good on the silver screen, right?
I don't know.
Not
probably
so much,
was silver back then.
Not so much on the 4K screens we have now.
Right. But it's very symmetrical. The runs that go together, sorry, our dog is pulling on our cord. The blood is very symmetrical going in a line, so it's like almost like someone, whatever. But
and for set designers and cinematographers, you got to see 1977 Suspiria if you haven't. But I'm sure most of y'all have because I've seen it everywhere. So proud of you guys that have used Dario Argento as an influence. Very proud of you guys. Were you fast tracking?
We can. The only scene that really
dying
got
to
to
talk
me
about-
was the barbed wire scene. I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to make it
That was
through.
awesome.
And then right when she almost made it through, she didn't. I was like bummed for her.
I was bummed. George, I put that as my cover photo on Facebook, and George didn't never liked it. George. So, but okay. So I'm dying to talk about.
Okay, let's talk about 2018 because it was awesome.
Is that she awesome?
And I like subtitles, so it was even awesome for me.
Okay,
with
that's
subtitles.
my. Okay, 2018 Suspiria. Okay, 1977 versus 2018.
Yes.
2018 Suspiria. There it is. Thank you, Joe. Freaking brilliant. As far as a remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, amazing. And she's right. Yes, yes. Jessica and Dakota. Dakota from Austin, Texas. We're in Texas, by the way. Dakota's from Austin. Mother and father are
Don
Johnson.
Johnson and Melanie Griffith.
there you go. So that being said, 2018 subtitles.
Well, but I was going to say between the two differences of the two girls, you got one that's like this like meek, scary chick, like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. And this other girl's like, I'm going to take you on and I'm going to own it. You're not making it through the night. I mean, just look at the eyes. They're just complete different characters. Love it.
Very much so. And yes, the subtitles, I should have taken German a lot more serious in ninth grade, and I could have really excelled at this movie. But I failed all my classes in ninth grade, so except football. I passed football.
Yeah, you.
So yes, a lot of subtitles. You got to put up with that. They didn't dub it. Luca, oh help me out, George. Guadagnino. He decided to have subtitles, and it's.
Well, it's Italian, so they speak it. They film
I
it in
think
their
there's
native
German.
language, but because there was German actors.
So you think he did the same thing?
I believe so.
Okay,
Because
okay.
the timeline of it was right after World War II, when after the Holocaust stuff happened, after World War II, all of that. So everything in the movie is kind of gray in the beginning, muted colors. It's not vibrant. It's completely different.
But
So
at the end, it gets vibrant.
it does, and I have a reason I think for that. But we'll talk about that later. But so you do have the German influence because Mother Suspiria actually takes place in Germany, where some of the other ones, one takes place in Rome and one takes place in New York. The three mothers, they all live in different places, or they're contained in different places. So this one actually is contained in Germany.
Did do your homework.
I did.
Golly, you're good.
Let's go.
So anyway, yeah, the subtitles sucked. But that being said, they changed a lot of stuff up from the original. The Patricia part of it was completely different. She's the one that got hung in the first one, I believe.
Patricia got hung in
Pat,
the first
I think
scene.
it's Pat.
Mhm,
But,
mhm.
So yeah, they took put a whole new twist on that. There's no doubt, and we're gonna warn you guys about spoilers at the beginning, and we're gonna tell you again. It's a witch. It's a coven.
It is coming.
There's no doubt about it. I guess it's a remake, right?
I don't know.
Okay, remake. They are witches, completely no doubt. And dude, I'm like, I want to watch it again.
So this one is actually kind of like a battle between two of the mothers. So they make them take a vote at the beginning between two of the
Which
mothers.
is very important.
And what were the mothers' names? Do you remember?
Mother Marcos,
Mother Marcos
and Blanc.
LeBlanc.
Blanc.
Mother,
B-L-A-N-C.
Mother Blanc. Mm-hmm.
Tilda Swinton,
Tilda Swinton.
which had
No, not yet. And not Blanc won.
Blanc.
Blanc lost the vote.
Right. I got you. Yes.
So she's not the mother throughout the show, even though in the original one, she was the mother. She was the main mother character.
And then, if I remember correctly, in the first in 1970, going back to 77, it slaps you right in the face. It's like you think you have an idea, you think they've talked. There's chatter, but it just slaps you upside the face. It is about witches
There's no hint of witchery till the very end.
till the very end.
Very end. This one, it's at the beginning.
And
Almost at the beginning.
yes, and it's
No, it is the beginning. Opening scene.
there's a terrorist thing going on the side, and they think Patricia is I guess involved, or she could be a terrorist or whatever.
They tell the girls that.
Yeah.
To explain her disappearance.
And they're ruthless. It is. I'm talking straight up ruthless. And I got confused because if you watch it on Prime, which I didn't know was a Prime movie. Did you know it was a Prime movie
No.
that they had?
Oh,
it's their studio or whatever. I didn't
yes,
know that.
I did. Yes.
So the the trivia pops up when you pause. I had to pause it a bunch of times because every once in a while I get on social media. Every once in a while. Anyway, so I pause it, and when I pause it, these little nuggets, these little trivia things pop up, and I didn't say it ruined it for me, but I was privy to some stuff and got a little confused. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Tilda Swinton, brilliant actress.
Brilliant.
And I liked her before, but I really like her now. She's a damn good actress.
Yes. So it opens with the doctor, who is played by
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda, and you can't tell really until there's certain scenes where the doctor has his face in a certain way, and if you know who you're looking for, then you can actually see it.
The voice.
I figured it out. He got it in a trivia. I was so excited I was going to have something on him, and then I didn't. So this opening scene is with him and Patricia. And she's saying, hey, so from the very opening scene, there's a coven there. There's a coven. This is witchery going on. This is witchery going on. So that's where, from there, she disappears. So,
and I think
they explain it away.
I think they start off telling you about that Patricia's telling you there's witches involved, because we all know from the original Suspiria that they're witches.
Or we thought. We knew.
You know, I mean, at the end, it's obvious. That's a coven. But, yeah, that was the weird part. Was like, I'm telling you, if you did not see Suspiria at the theater, you messed up. I messed up. I'll be the first to admit it. I messed up. We messed up. Would you have wanted to see it?
Yeah, and which one?
The remake.
The remake, yes.
I'm full of regret.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see the original one. No.
So that's talk about movies. I want to backtrack just a little bit.
Well, look, did you know that?
I did not know that was her.
That was the trivia I didn't know.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, so she actually played Mother Marca.
No, she was Blanc.
She was Blanc, but who's that? That's the other mother, the one that was voted in, and I can't say her last name.
Marcos?
Mother Marcos.
Yeah.
So they're Blancites and Markites, Markolites or something like that. So towards the end of the movie, that plays a big important part.
That's what I was going to say. We started this because we're going to discuss movies. And hopefully we'll have guests on and all that stuff. But we want to show people that husbands and wives can see things differently. They need to watch movies together and talk about them, because clearly we watch them differently. I'll watch a movie a certain way. I have to be engrossed in it. She, on the other hand, she's a workaholic. So she'll be working and something's on the tablet off to the side. So as we're talking about the premise of the show, we were asking George what to talk about, and that's how Suspiria got brought up. And like I said earlier, I'm so glad he gave me a little bump to get me over the edge, because I was like, I knew I needed to do it. I needed to get involved in Italian horror, because it's that important. If you're a horror nut, Italian horror should be very important. And it was to me. I'd seen some Fulci and some stuff like that, but I never got engrossed in it. And I'm going to try to do my best to get engrossed in it. So now, talking about that, is that she thought I was going to hate that I was going to be the one to hate the new Suspiria just on the subtitles.
Exactly.
And I did not like the subtitle. I'm going to tell you right now. But God, dog, they break it into acts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an epilogue, right?
I believe so.
The something pears, or the chopped up pears, or whatever, or something like that. I've had one shot and it's already gone to my head. Anyway, so the 5th act, holy shit, and I don't cuss a whole lot. So I was.
Who are you?
I don't know, TV on screen and stuff.
He does. Don't tell nobody.
Yeah, cuss like a sailor off screen. Anyway, spoiler alert. So anyway, that 5th act, I was mesmerized.
Can we go back to the first?
Yes,
okay, let's go back to the beginning. I know. So
it's a longer movie. Oh yeah, it's a lot longer.
Almost twice as long. I think it's an.
I want to say they actually said it's twice as long.
Almost twice as long.
1 hour longer. Or something.
When you're halfway through, I think you're an hour. You're almost at the end of the other one, or something like that. I read. So when the dancer, who's known as Susie, she's the lead. She comes in, and on 2018 version, she comes in confident. She comes in, she's not mousy. The lead person, who was Patricia, is no longer there. So somebody's got to step up and take the lead. She's just joined this dance
Literally.
group. And we have a competition dance daughter. So the idea of her just jumping in and taking lead role, I know how scary that has to be. So she like jumps in and she does this dance that's like, I don't want to say Aborigine or anything, but it's like close to the ground. Well, while you're close to the ground, she's dancing on this surface, and on this surface, there's this demented hand that's almost like drawing her and drawing the evilness out of her in her dance. While this is happening, another character who has discovered the witchery is in another room being contorted and broken by like every move she makes snaps another bone or twists her body in another way. I mean, she urinates herself, she's bleeding, she's face is bleeding. It's just the most engrossed dance you've ever seen. So I mean, it pulls you in. I think that's the second or maybe the third well, not by scenes the way he said it, but it's pretty at the very beginning.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Because naturally the original was 77, technology, different cinematography. This room was completely in mirrors too. I mean, to me, that's got to be a tough shot.
The torture room.
Yeah. I don't have a clue how you shoot in a mirror. I mean, there's nothing but mirrors, and they're shooting her. It's really, that's what I'm saying. 77 to 18, of course, you're going to have better effects and yada, yada, yada. But, oh my, that was game changer as far as you knew this was going to be next level Suspiria. So
yeah. Some of the reviews I read of people after they seen that scene were, oh my gosh, they were like sick to their stomach. And they didn't want to watch the rest of the movie, but they had to, because if this scene was that sick, the rest of the movie was going to be that sick.
It took a while.
And what's really cool about this dancer is at the beginning you find out she comes from this Amish place. So you're expecting not a strong character. You're expecting this Amish Mennonite girl who, for whatever reason, she is drawn to Madame Blanc. She's drawn to her to where she's even seen her play in person. Against her parents' will, which we know from watching Amish shows, you do what your parents say, you don't disobey.
Are you assuming Amish?
No, they're Amish.
Are they?
They're Amish.
Did you study this?
I did. I looked it up. Yes, they were Mennonites.
Wow.
And one of the coolest things is as the movie progresses, you see the mom is sick when she leaves. So as she gains this empowerment, this I don't even know. Empowerment's not a strong enough word. She's coming into
her own.
She's
wow. About to take over.
Yeah, and the ending is going to be the giveaway. But so as she's taking on this personality and she's drawing more and more power into herself, her mom's dying, and you see scenes of this throughout the movie. So it's like one mom dies, so another mom can come into their full person.
Did you get that one scene where it turned the mouth and almost looked like a vagina? Was that just me?
No, that was on purpose.
Was it on purpose?
It was on purpose. But it wasn't meant to be a vagina, but that's how everybody talked about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it did have symbolism into mothering and all that stuff. That was towards the end. So there's really not a lot of murdering in this movie till the end. Until the end. But it builds the story and it builds the covenant, and they take a vote of which of the mothers you want to follow, and you go through this journey where Madame Blanc and
Marcos?
Madame Blanc is the tall, skinny, long-haired lady. Tilda Swinton. So she is bonded with Susie in a way that in the first one they didn't. They bonded almost like Madame Blanc couldn't do what her witchery group was telling her she had to do, because they take these girls and they hurt them and they sacrifice them. She was supposed to be a sacrifice and she couldn't do it. It's almost like she fell in love with Susie and couldn't sacrifice her.
And was killed in the process.
Yeah, so it's like Susie's drawn this power as Madame Blanc is losing her power. And then at the same time, her mom is also losing her power. So I want to tell the end so bad.
I know.
I want to get there already.
The cool part about the Susie Bannion, the original Susie from 1977 was also in the movie. And it that's where I got a little confused. There's a side story going on where the doctor, played by Tilda Swinton, which is a male role, she's dolled up to look like a man, an older man. And the side story is, at some point, the guy in the middle, that's Tilda Swinton. She loses her wife, and her wife ends up being the original Susie Bannion from 1977. And I think the story, the side story is the witches actually did a good thing, and they helped him with closure.
Well, before she helped him with closure, they were there had to be a male witness to the sacrifice.
Okay.
So he was naked and in a room to be the male sacrifice witness, and in her becoming the mother, she took on a heart that you weren't expecting from a coven witch. And in her heartness, she actually took embodiment of his wife who had been taken away to a concentration camp.
And that helped with closure.
And when he's laying,
and explained how she passed away too.
It did. So she came and she explained that she was very cold and very sick in the end, but she was thinking of you, and she made him die or have this peace to him that he hadn't had his entire life, because he basically had to save himself. He basically let her get taken to a Holocaust camp.
He pined over her the whole time.
Yes, and so he never remarried, never anything like that. So this mother, who's supposed to be this evil witch Coventry person, ends up having this massive heart to where she even asked the people who had picked the other mothers. She did kill all those, and but the people that were going to die, she asked them, do you want to die or do you want to live? Even though they had picked Mother Blanc. They all died, but they helped her. She helped them kindly die. But in the long run, Madame Blanc, who was saying all along she was Madame Blanc, was not the mother. It was Susie who was the mother all along. And she'd been drawing these powers ever since she was little, and that's why she was getting in trouble at home.
She's from Austin, Texas.
Right?
Well, the actress.
And why she was drawn to Tilda Swanson's role.
Tilda
Swinton, sorry. I am bad with names. I'm going to tell you ahead of time. That it's just what an amazing twist at the end. And
can we talk about death?
Yes, you can die now.
Can we talk about death?
Yes, die now.
Not
you.
Death was awesome. That was a character death, and that was.
Do you know who Death was?
No.
Her mother.
The one that passed away.
Yes.
Okay. That I want to watch it again. It was great. The fifth act is amazing. They do some really cool stuff with special effects, and they hit a grand slam with that one. I'm talking blood and guts everywhere. George, you're so awesome for recommending Suspiria. Anyway, yes, Death is a character, and Death is awesome. Beautiful character.
So it has a very dark side, and then it has the mom who ends up being a very loving mom. I have watched one of the other mother shows, and not so much.
I think Suspiria has something for everybody. It's got the chick stuff, and it's got the cool dude effects and stuff, right? No,
I think so. Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
You can only recommend one. Which one? Wow.
2018.
1977.
You lie.
No, I'm serious.
No way.
Yes.
There's no.
Yes.
No.
I do love that new one though. Oh my! I just gotta read so much.
Okay, if somebody didn't mind reading, which one do you recommend?
2018.
Okay,
if you don't mind reading all the subtitles, it's fantastic. It's long. It's very long, but
even if you didn't read half the words, you got more of the story than you did in the first one, because you didn't know what the hell was going on through the first one until you got to the very end anyway.
That's Dario. It's that's classic film storytelling, It's awesome. I know my version's better.
I know mine's better.
Why is yours better?
Because mine had a story.
I like the mystery in mine.
I like the non-mystery. Well, mine had a mystery. It had a cool ending.
And I don't know if George knows, but I'm a 1978 Halloween nut. So that would have explained me, because you don't know why Michael Myers is killing. He's just killing.
Just kills to kill.
Just kills to kill. Dario doesn't give you a whole lot of story in the 1977 Suspiria.
If you can read red and read orange and blues and greens, maybe you can figure it out.
Those colors.
He is amazing at coloring. I do give him all of that. But storyline,
I'm about to go on a huge Dario Argento kick.
go
Be
ahead.
prepared.
You go ahead.
That means you have to buy me some DVDs.
So here's the thing. I work in the day. He works at night. He can watch whatever he wants in the daytime, and it doesn't affect me one bit.
See, we watch them differently.
We watch him differently. I do watch TV while I work, though, too. I have 3 monitors, and I have a little screen on the bottom, and I'm listening. And if I have to stop and watch something, I usually turn it off and watch that.
I go, did you see that? And she goes, no. And I'm like, it's kind of important.
But
You handed off like the
usually
weapons
I know
of mass
anyway.
destruction. She goes, well, how'd that bomb get there?
No,
You handed it off 5 minutes
never,
ago.
Never. He's lying.
No,
Total lies.
we watch them completely different.
We do watch him differently. We do. But that's okay.
7, Suspiria is breathtaking. I almost cried. I'm telling you guys, I almost cried.
Spoiler.
I may have-
Another spoiler
I may
alert.
have-
He cries at a lot of movies.
I do.
I don't.
I tear.
If I cry, it's a good cry movie because it takes a lot to make me cry.
Okay, so thank you again, George,
Yes, George, thank
for
you.
Suspiria. I'm going to own those movies. They will be in that collection back there. And this is what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to. I'm a horror nut through and through. I would prefer to watch horror. She's just anything goes, right, with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Top Gun's her favorite movie.
Absolutely. Can't wait till the new
So-
one comes out.
So that's her kind of thing. We're going to try to push the indie agenda. That's very important to us. The things George is trying to do, once again, makes me cry because that's beautiful stuff. George has a heart of gold. I mean, absolutely. We talked to George and Joe on the reg, and what they're both trying to accomplish is just amazing. And Dean Fernando too. Dean's involved, and
I did cry with George. When I heard about his story with the Veterans Compound, I did cry. So
it's amazing.
I do have tears that function.
Very rare. Very rare.
But they're there. And when they're there, they're sincere and real.
She is not a girl. I'm telling y'all, she's a hoot. You're gonna like her. I think she looks good on the screen too.
Thank you. Hopefully y'all will all keep me around, and we over time you'll figure out why we decided on the Wagner Wiles, and we won't tell it all at one time, but it's a pretty funny story, and we look forward to seeing y'all in the future.
That's right. That's right.
Got anything to say? Thank you, George. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, George and Joe, and Dean off camera somewhere. He's somewhere.
There's George.
He's muted.
I think he's muted.
You're muted. There it is.
Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Blast.
Yeah, good.
The
I
shot.
really enjoyed. I think you guys had a couple of moments that were just absolutely pure, like you forgot you were doing a show. And other than even those moments, like the whole thing was just great. You guys are great together, and I'm just really happy that you agreed to come and do this with us. So we're happy to have you here, and welcome to the Indie Brigade. And everybody, you'll be seeing a lot more of the Wagner Wiles, so stay tuned. They got a lot more in store for you coming your way.
Awesome.
Good job. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Totally honored.
No, the honor's mine. Thank you very much, guys.